Dzień dobry, YouTube. Witamy to another episode of Atticus Eats. My dear friends, this is the first video of the new year. Happy New Year. Happy 2026 to each and every one of you. I hope your new year is beginning in a fantastic way. My dear friends, I hope your New Year celebrations were fun and full of good food and good drinks and family and fellowship. Even if you were flying solo this year for New Year's, I hope it was nothing but amazing and fun and peace-filled. And my dear friends, I am so excited to now be able to begin a new year of Atticus Eats, of content, of creativity that I get to share with each and every one of you. You guys are so amazing, and thank you all for now joining with me and beginning the new year right with me. This is incredibly exciting. But my dear friends, today we are here now in the Hobbit home. We have had some amazing developments going on here in the state of California. I just heard the lady on the radio today say that we have received an 8,000% increase in rainfall in this winter compared to last winter, and that is truly tremendous. That is something that we have needed in this state for a very long time, and hopefully now they're no longer going to lie and say that we're in a drought and hike up the water prices, because we clearly have water now. So hopefully we're going to be able to enjoy a very green and lush springtime in the near future, but for right now it's winter. It's been raining a ton. This is actually the first day that it's been sunny in quite a while, and it's been very cold. And so what better way to be able to enjoy a nice, cozy, cold morning, it's actually morning right now, than with a nice hot cup of Polish pickle soup. My dear friends, you guys saw, if you've been with me for a long time, that we are, I was able to get a box of Polish goodies from my brother for my birthday last year. One of the items in question were these Knorr brand packs of Polish pickle soup, which I think are absolutely fantastic, and I had teased in that video that we were most certainly going to be making this together here on the channel, and today is the perfect day to do it. It's going to be nice and warm and good for your soul kind of stuff. Real good thing though, and aren't you happy that you tune into my channel? On this channel we can learn Polish and other languages, as Atticus will try to speak them phonetically, which is amazing. And thankfully, in Poland, they understand that, hey, pictures are a good aid for Polish people who might not, need to be visual, like moi. But my dear friends, I'm going to take an image here of our 3 instructions here, and then I'm going to be reading it aloud to you. So, of course, step 1 is Zawartość torebki wysyp do kubka, which based on this picture, means rip open the soup and put it in your mug, which we have our mug in question here. It's a Starbucks mug, but I didn't pay a Starbucks price for it. I paid a Goodwill price for it. So what we're going to do actually on that note, since we're making stuff here, what I usually do, and this is true for whenever I make tea or what have you, is I have our very adorable floral teapot over here. And what I did is I literally just filled up the cup with how much water I wanted to utilize, and then I poured it off here in the teapot. We're going to get that boiling here in just a minute. But then step 2 is zalej, 200 milliliters, wrzeź, wody I wymieszaj. I hope I didn't just cuss you out in Polish, but it looks like pour boiling water into cup, stir. And then, of course, the most important step, step 3, smacznego. Enjoy! So, boom, floral teapot in question, water is inside, ignition is on, mug, soup mix. Let's see. Ooh! It has, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Yes, it has bits in it. And things like herbs and spices. I do not see a desiccant, so we should be okay. Let's go ahead and pour. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The powder is real. I wonder what the orange pieces are. I don't know if that's supposed to be like tomato or if it's carrots or something. I would say let's read the ingredients, but I'm not that fluent in Polish yet. Graci kubek. Love it. Love it. All right, let's get the water boiled up, and then I will come back when it's time to pour. Good old teapot boils water pretty quick. Very happy about that. Gonna grab it right here and pour. Pardon my reach. Another cool vintagey find this was. Nice and hot and steamy. I'm very excited about this. Very happy that my brother sent this off to me so I could try it. Yeah, I did not expect there to be particles in this soup. It looks like I'm seeing dill, which makes sense, given that it's a pickle soup. But I'm going to show this to you here. I'm not sure what the other stuff and things are in the mix. I don't know if it's carrots or potatoes, but we will definitely find out. Oh yes. Oh yes. That's gonna warm your soul. This is the kind of stuff that Grandma would make, you know? Here, it is good for you. Alrighty. That is all stirred up. Let me show you guys what this looks like over here. Hopefully you guys will be able to see. Very hot. Water was just boiled. Let's see, camera focus. Look at that. See, there's floaters in here. As long as you don't think it looks like vomit, it doesn't look like vomit. But I said that now. So power of suggestion. But anyways, dear friends, we're going to go ahead and let this cool a second. I'm going to head on over into my office with you all. We're going to try it out and see what we think. Amen. My dear friends, still lava hot on the soup, so we're going to let this sit and cool here for just a minute. I can tell you, though, this actually smells really good. I'm getting the notes of the dill in it, and again, I'm not too sure what else is in it. We obviously are going to find out here in a sec. But I've got, like, the freeze-dried bits that are floating from this soup packet. But it's amazing to me because, again, as you guys saw, on the packet, these packets are intended to be drunk out of like a mug. And whether that's a mug like this, or maybe it's one of those to-go mugs or something like that, I actually think that's kind of a very brilliant concept is, hey, if you're in a cold climate, or it's winter, or whatever, and you want just a good, like, warming soup, and this is something that you can use easy to make up. I mean, that whole process literally took maybe 3 minutes to do. It was, if it wasn't for, like, my setting up the camera and showing the shots and everything like that, this is a very, very quick, like, you're heading out the door, hot treat that you can have, right? And I actually think that's even cool, like, from a familial standpoint. Like, if you wanted to give the kids something, here, have some soup so we can do our road trip, or we can go to the museum, or go to the zoo, or whatever. I think that that's insanely, insanely cool. But while we're letting this cool, my dear friends, of course, post-Christmas time, you always want to be able to flex your Christmas gifts that you got. Mama Debbie was incredibly kind to me, and of course, you know, me as an adult man, it's one of those things where it kind of becomes more challenging to buy Christmas gifts for me. But what's sweet is that my mom and I work in such a way where, like, if my mom wants something, she'll just express it to me and we can get it, especially if it's on sale, like at Black Friday or whatever. And I can be like, cool, that's your Christmas gift, I got you. And she'll be like, thank you. And then for me, I just bring up, hey, this would be really cool to have. And if my mom gets put on any quest to search and find something, especially like online, she will just go for it, and she is successful 99% of the time. And so I told my mom, hey mom, the style right now is these trucker hats, and I'd love to grow my hat collection. Can you find me any cool trucker hats? And of course, because we've been on our Taylor Sheridan kick, Mama Debbie found an awesome trucker hat, black, which I don't really have a black hat. at least in trucker hat form, so now I do. And of course it's the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch. So I've got my one piece of Yellowstone merch that I get to have. It's something cool, makes me think of my mom, makes me think of all the time that we've spent in the last few months on our Taylor Sheridan kick and Paramount Plus kick and the like. But the other thing too I wanted to show you guys, because this is a tradition for me and has been really since I was like 5. As for those of you who know, who've been a part of the channel for a long time, you'll know that I'm a huge, huge fan of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. It's one of my nerdy, guilty pleasures, and it's something that I just so greatly enjoy. I've grown up playing the game. It taught me how to read. It was one of the things that, like, taught me strategy, and it was a means of me growing my friend group when I was young. And older for that matter, and even after the show ended, that was my big thing, is I want to grow a beard and resume playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I did both. And it was awesome. And so anyway, being able to be in that vein, a tradition has consistently been that every year at Christmas, I would receive, my mom would buy for me. My mom has been the one doing it, obviously, for the past several years. My mom is the one who buys me the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mega Tin, which is a product that essentially is like a summation of all the sets for that year. And so this was particularly cool. I got some cool pulls in this tin that actually were of decks I used to play, and I didn't know had new support cards for them. And that was insanely, insanely fun, and it has classic cards from the series that I grew up watching. There's like 7 Yu-Gi-Oh! Shows now that are the animes, that are the lore for the game world. My 2, because it's my era, it's my age bracket, were Yu-Gi-Oh! The original series, and then Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and I have the DVD collection of both. That's something, too, that even my mom remembers watching with me, like when the TV would be on in the living room when I was young, and I would watch Yu-Gi-Oh! And she would think was just so incredibly cool to see, like, the monsters and the gameplay and how the games would develop and the stories, etc. And so, who knows, that might be one of those things that once we're done with our Taylor Sheridan binge, we'll do a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime binge. The other thing, too, that I was talking about with a buddy of mine, because he's the same era, is the original Pokemon series. The original. And again, we're talking Pokemon is now, if it isn't already, it's 30 years old. And I remember that was the big joke, I think, either last year or the year prior, is that Ash, who was supposed to be perpetually, like, 14, after 30 years, finally became a Pokemon Grandmaster, or whatever it's called in the show. And that was a very funny, like, meme lore thing. But anyway, that was another gift that my mom got me, not this Christmas, but a couple Christmases ago, because of my nostalgia trip that I was on. And she got me the original, it's seasons 1 through 5. 270-something episodes. That is insanely impressive. I was looking at that the other day. Again, another show that'd be fun to kind of rewatch and be like, oh, I remember that when I was 4. But what's amazing is 273 episodes. It took us, on the middle, almost 10 years to do 216. We did 215, but I was part of the original pilot, so for me it's always 216. And they were able to reach 273 in 5 seasons. So those were some long seasons, or they were short episodes. I need to remember which. But that's impressive. And that was just seasons 1 through 5. I don't even know how many seasons they have now, plus the movies. So that's incredible. That is definitely, like, me being on my nostalgia trip. This tin, this year especially, made me very nostalgic. And it made me excited, too, because there's new cards added to decks that I really love, which I think is insanely cool. And I have not been able to play in a tournament for a hot minute. The last time I was able to play in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament, it was Remote Duel, because it was during COVID, which I actually really liked those a lot, because I could play in a higher tier tournament, but from the safety and the comfort of my own home. And it would literally just be like, okay, here's a Saturday or a Sunday, and I literally would just spend 7 hours. It was as if I was at the event, but I wasn't. But it's fun because you get to use your mat, you get to use your sleeves, you get to use your actual cards. It's not actually a computer game. It's that you're playing through Discord. And so your webcam is on your mat, your opponent's webcam is on their mat, and the structure of it literally looks like you're looking down at a game board, or a gaming table, like at a local comic shop. And so that's something that was really cool. That might be something I might have to try to get back into for fun one of these days. But listen, hopefully I don't scold myself. This is still very hot. But friends, tell me, what did you get for Christmas? Even if you got nothing but a good meal or new underwear, tell me in the comment section below. Would love to hear from you guys. What's some cool swag that you were able to be gifted, or gift cards, or whatever it might be. Would love to be able to hear from you. And then what did you guys do for New Year's? How did you all celebrate? Mama Debbie and I, we just feasted on, I think, an additional Lazy Dog turkey dinner meal. And then we were able to watch When Harry Met Sally, which is When Harry Met Sally is my mom's favorite movie of all time, and it's my favorite rom-com of all time. And it was absolutely fantastic to be able to rewatch it again. It was so hysterical. And just again, it's one of those movies where you catch something new every time you watch it. So, very, very special, very fun. But listen, Nezdorovia, cool people. Hopefully I don't burn myself. Let's see what's what. That is really good. That is seriously, seriously good. Secondary. It's legit pickle soup. Pickle peppers. It's seriously pickle soup. You guys, no joke. I know that the concept of this may sound gross to some people, but as a good Polish boy, I cannot stress this enough. This tastes amazing. If you are a pickle lover, or a lover of things that are pickled, this is 100% for you. It has a wonderful dill pickle taste that is not overwhelming. And they are very intelligent to incorporate the freeze-dried vegetables in here. It is precisely what I expected. It's potatoes and it's carrots, which to me it's like, that's brilliant. Root vegetables pairing with pickle, amazing. And they add just a little bit of bite and a little bit of variance of flavor where it doesn't feel like you're drinking like the pickle juice from the pickle jar, right? The pickle juice from the pickle jar definitely would be a bit much. That's not what this tastes like. This tastes like an actual soup where you have layers of flavor, but with a wonderful, wonderful, like, consistent pickle taste. It's also not overtly salty, which I really like, because that's a problem with a lot of American, you know, processed food. I know that this is Nor brand, but clearly it's from Poland. That is a problem with a lot of American stuff you get from the store, is it's either way too fatty or way too salty. And this is neither. This has a wonderful, flavorful, like, rich taste, deep taste, but it is not too much of anything. Oh my word. Yeah. Wow. That is insanely, insanely good, you guys. That is delicious. And it's so, like, warm for your soul. Taste sensation going down the trachea, you know, going down the larynx or whatever. Just start naming body parts. But it goes down into your solar plexus and warms your soul. That's amazing. You know what? That might not be potatoes. I think that's freeze-dried bread. Like, almost like it's supposed to be crackers in there. It is. That's what it is. It's carrots and bread. That's like crouton. Dang! That's insanely, insanely cool. I love this. And I'm really happy because I have like 3 more packets of this soup, so little Atticus knows what he's going to be having soup-wise throughout this winter. I am very, very happy about that. That is insanely cool. That's insanely cool. Thank you, Big Brother, for the soup. I am so, so grateful that you gifted it to me. Even more grateful that I could make a video of it and share it with my friends. So thank you very much, Big Brother. Nizdarovia to you. You're amazing. But my dear friends, on that note, let's go ahead and push forward. It's been a hot minute since I've been able to answer your amazing comment section questions. And so I definitely want to be able to do so in today's video. It gets better as you drink it. Oh, it's so good. But, obviously, I had some important topics to talk about at the end of last year, which I think is really cool. Really good question that I wanted to answer today. And that is from Meister P, as in Pickle, on YouTube. How much does animation influence voiceover work and vice versa? Excellent question, my friend. That's actually a very fun question because this goes into what I consistently talk about when it comes to my joy for voiceover work compared to live action work. In both arenas, you're taking a story world that is on paper and you're bringing it to life. The benefit of animation work, though, and the benefit of voiceover work is that this is where there is a real, genuine feeling of bringing life to a character and to a world. Because it's not where you as the actor are changing your hair, changing your wardrobe, putting makeup on, and then now you're a character. This is where you are totally bringing a character to life with your voice. And in that, you are partnering with the animators to showcase what that character looks like, which I adore. For me personally, you know, there is something to be said, and we've had people of lesser intelligence, unfortunately, do this. I've either heard the stories of it or have borne witness to it, where you'll get people who are, like, way overly active in the voiceover booth, and the director will literally come on through the intercom and be like, cool, we can't use any of that because you were punching your mic the whole time, or making other noise. And so that's something that you do have to be aware of. A lot of times you'll be standing or sitting, but you need to be stationary. But what I've been able to witness from excellent voiceover actors, and then I have been able to implement myself with specific characters, is that they will get into their characters, but they are able to do it in such a way where they're not, again, punching their mic or, like, running in place or doing whatever. And it's especially fun for Adventures in Odyssey. When we're in Adventures in Odyssey, that's a situation where we're all able to record together, and it feels like we're doing an actual play. And there's a reason why they call it, like, radio theater, radio drama. And what I love about that is that as actors, we're able to feed off of each other. Now, again, granted, this is a radio situation, so bear with me, compared to animation. But we're able to feed off of and interact with each other, and that is insanely, insanely fun. There is an energy there that is unduplicatable, and it causes more naturalness as we feed off of each other, where it sounds like we're having a natural conversation. Or the things that we're doing, the effort effects, the laughter, you know, interaction, we're pushing a button, opening a door, whatever. It sounds normal. It sounds real. But that gets conveyed through our voices, right? And our vocal cues and the sounds that we make. Now, when it comes to the animation world and how much does one influence the other, it depends on the project and it depends on the creator of the project. What I found was very cool is that when I got to do Frankenweenie was a very long but very awesome process of making that movie come to life. I had the pleasure of being able to work directly with Tim Burton through the majority of filming or recording that. And I got to work with a great, like, Tom Kenny, who read opposite me. So even though I was the only one being recorded, I got to have Tom read opposite me in character of all the different characters that my character was interacting with. And it made for a very real, inspired performance. But what they did is that they actually set up cameras in the booth to record me, as well as all of the other actors in the movie, and our movements, which then the claymation animators watched and used to not only design the characters, but then design their movements and interactions in the scene. So, like, for me, when I was playing Edgar, you know, knowing that he was the more of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, very creepy, eerie character, I got into it. So, little me, I was, like, contorting my fingers, and I was talking like I had a hump, and all this other stuff. And because I have the long piano fingers, actually, the animators loved that. And that's why Edgar in the movie had those really long, very pronounced fingers that he did, because I was literally doing that in the booth, talking like this, and gesticulating and gesturing and whatever. And they loved that. And they took that, incorporated it into the claymation character, and then was able to implement it into the movie. Conversely, though, what was really cool is that when it came to the Lion Guard being able to play Ono, I think they had just a very basic concept art. Oh no, they did. So they did have a concept art for Ono, and that got sent out to me when I came in to do the audition for the show. And I believe it's in the Atticus Eats Wingstop or Atticus Eats Papa John's Pizza that I talk about how I got the role of Ono the Egret in the Lion Guard. So if you haven't already, go check out those 2 videos where I speak about it in detail. But I did get a concept art of that. The character voice was literally inspired in the booth. And when that happened, the animators found it to be such an interesting character voice that they kept telling the animation and voice directors how much the animators loved that character and how much they loved drawing that character, because the character with that character voice was just absolutely coming to life for them, and they loved it. They thought it was brilliant. They enjoyed it. It was the most fun for them to draw and animate and get inspired by. And so that was a situation where the concept art was already in play, but it was where the voice is actually what came through and then made the animators be more enthused and inspired about drawing that specific character and all of the emotions and the situations that he experienced. I am sitting here, still thoroughly impressed and amazed at this soup. I'm telling you guys, it is just warmth for your soul. I am going to be a good boy, and there's about a third of this left. I'm going to save it for Mama Debbie, because I think she's going to like it too. I got my fanship for pickles from Mama Debbie, obviously, because that's where the Polish lineage comes from. And so I'm definitely going to share that with her once I'm done recording in here. But Meister, it's very situation dependent, but I love how art influences art. And you can have something as simple as, here's a picture that the actor sees, gets inspired by it, and then is able to then make that character come to life, and then that process ends up co-creating with the animators, who then can take a mere picture and bring life to it because of the voice. And then they partner together. And again, this is why, and this is one of the things that I truly love about being creative. And, in addition, this is where, for me, it's amazing to be I'm sorry, hold on, I'm all over the place. Beep! It's amazing to me the creative process that can actually occur when you have people who want to be creative and they check their ego at the door. And this is where I speak often that I have a very severe allergy to arrogancy. And again, I was a young man once. I have had moments of being really dumb and really arrogant or you know, unthoughtful, maybe, and selfish. And you have to navigate that stuff, and you have to choose in life, are you going to perpetuate that behavior, or are you going to grow from that and not perpetuate that behavior? And again, when I say that I've had moments of arrogancy or selfishness, it's not to the scale that I witnessed being in the industry, or even being out of the industry for that matter. I sit back and I go, no, I don't want to be like that. I know what I know. I don't know what I don't know, and I know that I don't know everything. I'm going to treat people well, and let's see how we can all work together, right? And that's something that's really important for me in the area of creativity. You know, I've said this a lot on my streams, and I don't mind saying it again here, that if ever I were to be blessed with being able to have my own show in the industry, stream project or whatever, or movie or whatever, my goal would be to demonstrate leadership in such a way where there is strength and certainty of me, like, knowing what I want and how do we execute that. I'm thinking from the standpoint of director, producer, writer, right? You know, there's going to be the strength of, I know what I want, and let's work to execute that vision, right? But I also understand that I'm working with 250 other people, and as the joke was on set, it's not just front of the call sheet people, actors, vanities, writers, directors. It's the back of the call sheet people that you're also co-creating with. Set deck, and electric, and the grips, and you know, the painters, and everybody, right? The carpenters, the greensmen. Everybody is involved in making a project happen. And I would definitely want it to be where, you know, there is something to say about being captain of the ship, but you still need to acknowledge your crew, too. And everybody has a job to do, and how do we move forward together in making this happen, and we can all sit back and be proud of a job well done that we worked on together, and people were not treated like crap. And so that's very important for me, and, you know, I'm kind of putting this out there in the universe. I know God knows, but it's out on the interwebs now. That, you know, if ever I were to be blessed with that, that would be my mindset. That would be my mindset for stewarding a project, should I ever get one. And so, or be able to make one, rather, is what I should say. And so that would be incredibly cool. That'd be amazingly fun. And man, you know, just the passage of time, my friends. I mentioned this heavily in the last video, but being able to reflect, being able to enjoy different things is very, very, very special. Actually, you know what we did, and I'm amending and correcting myself for what I was saying earlier. On New Year's Day, Mama Debbie and I watched When Harry Met Sally. It was on New Year's Eve, though, that we watched Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And that's because in 2025, Robert Redford unfortunately passed away. And to be able to watch that movie, that was my first time watching it. My mom hadn't watched it in many, many, many years. And man, I can completely see why it is the classic movie that it is. And just, it amazes me how not only Robert Redford, you know, that was a huge thing that perpetuated his career, but also just, I can clearly see why he wanted to name it the Sundance Film Festival, right? It was his favorite movie, and I don't blame him. Because the story, the environment, the cinematography, the action with that little bit of romance, with that little bit of adventure, man, what a time to be alive. That was so amazing to bear witness to and to see. And also the comedy, too. There were notes of comedy in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid that absolutely made me guffaw. It was incredible. And it is. I love that I not only get to watch so many amazing artistic pieces, but I get to do so with my mom, because we get to dissect them, and we get to talk about them, and we get to have fun in that regard. And then it's making memories with my mom, again, like this was. So, it's really cool for me. It's really special. My friends, have you ever seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid? Have you ever seen When Harry Met Sally? What do you think of these movies? If you have a negative comment about them, don't post it. No, I'm kidding. Just post it as a snide remark. But my dear friends, it is so wonderful to be able to start out this new year with you all. Thank you all so much for being who you are. And my dear friends, remember, please be sure to continue to hype this video if the hype notification comes out. I want to thank you guys very much for giving me the feedback in the last episode where you were saying I'm always hyping your videos, or I'm able to hype your video multiple times, etc. Thank you guys for that. Please keep it up. It definitely helps out the channel. It helps out my videos. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Please be sure to share this video on all your social media. And by the way, very funny thing, but I was in CVS Pharmacy the other day, and apparently they're selling antiques now. I didn't know that Toys R Us was bought by Macy's. I didn't see the Macy's emblem when I first took that picture, but I thought that'd be funny to incorporate in this video. Please be sure to check out the links in the description box below, my dear friends. Link to my Twitch channel where I go live 3 days a week, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific. And my dear friends, we continue to have a lot of really cool, exciting, fun games coming out. This week, at time of recording, we're going to be doing some more Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We're going to be doing Escape from Tarkov, of course. And then actually, some friends of mine are going to be joining with me as we jump into the world of DayZ. That's a game that I definitely spent a lot of time on in my teenage years before Tarkov. And a very fun game. We have one of our friends from the Tarkov squad who it's his first time playing it, and so it's going to be our first time playing it with him and together. And so we're going to see what kind of shenanigans we can get into in a random DayZ server. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, too, my dear friends, if you want to continue to support me directly with my work that I do here on YouTube as well as on my Twitch live streams, check out the link to my Cameo page in the description box below. I had an absolute blast these last couple months being able to take part in all of your amazing celebrations that you all had going on for Thanksgiving, for Hanukkah, for Christmas, for New Year's. It was an absolute blast, and of course there were still a lot of anniversaries and birthdays and even pep talk videos that I was able to do during that time frame. I would love to continue to take part in your celebrations and make them extra special. We've got Valentine's Day coming up, so if you need a little help with the That's Amore realm, I wanted to say realm, but then England happened. Please consider booking me. I promise I'm a wordsmith, and I would love to make your special someone feel extra special with a Valentine's Day message, and also anything else we have coming down the pipe. Let's see, we've got St. Patrick's Day coming up in March. There's probably any number of birthdays, graduations, starting a new job, leaving an old one, relationship stuff that's coming up. I would love to take part in your celebrations and make them extra special. It'd be insanely fun. My dear friends, thank you all for being who you are. Y'all are the best. And I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video or live stream, whichever you join in first. God bless. Do widzenia.
I just want a great life, something where